During this Black History Month, we are learning more about options for families of color having to research their roots. Libraries, as we know, are often the key to finding answers about family genealogy. Dr. Kimberly Gay is head of reference and information services at Prairie View A&M University and specializes in tracing Black ancestry. Good morning, Dr. Gay. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I first want to say that I don't have my doctorate yet, so I guess we're going to call it into fruition, that I'm going to have my doctorate. Everybody, good morning. I like to say grand rising. I have a background in agriculture, and there's only one thing that rises grand every day is the sun. So you get up to meet the sun and meet the day.
Oh my goodness, I love that on this Friday morning. Well, regardless, thank you so much for joining us. You know, as I was talking with my producer about this morning, I was so curious and interested in how you got your start in this type of work. Where did it begin? How did it begin?
Well, I have a ferocious appetite for learning. And when you have a ferocious appetite for learning, everything that comes your way, you're going to want to synthesize, organize, and disseminate it. So growing up, and again, because this is African American History Month, and we get an extra day, so we get
yeah, it's leap year, right?
instead of 28 days, what happens is that we would constantly have family reunions and constantly have gatherings where my mom and dad would say, that's your second cousin, that's your first cousin,
right.
That's your grandmother, that's your grand aunt. And I'm like, how can I figure out how to get all these people in my head that I know my genealogy and my heredity? And that's what started it about 37 years ago.
Wow.
With this to understanding the Africana diaspora of genealogy.
I love that. I love that. And of course, it seems to me curiosity comes natural to you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. You know, talk to us about why this is so important for families of color trying to connect the dots on who's who and where's where.
Well, I like to say that I'm an equal opportunity librarian. So it's not just families of colors, it's anybody who wants to take the time to gather their genealogy records and find out how their families moved from city to state to county. Look at those death certificates, those birth certificates to see what they died of. My grandmother died back in she died like at the age of like 59, 60 of a coronary heart disease. And we made sure that we would eat a different type of diet, we would exercise, maintain a different health. And my mother, who is the daughter of my grandmother, my mother literally is at the age of 83 now. So she's outlived her own mom by like 23 years. So anybody who wants to just gather those resources and find that information is exciting. For African Americans, it's a booger bear. We're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper. We're gonna have to go to other avenues to find those sources, but my God, they're there. And you just have to articulate yourself on how do you want to start gathering up your pedigree chart. Because there's always those secrecies in those families where they're not sharing. I know it, but here's what I always tell them. The records are there. Okay?
The proof is there.
The United States loves writing down and keeping stuff forever, ever. So I said, the records are there. You just got to figure out what house they living in.
Uh-oh. I bet, you know, I bet for many people, they uncover those long, deeply rooted family secrets. I know I've done this with my family. I've tried going back, and on my father's side, we've gone back quite far. My mother's side, it is a little more challenging. But knowing the challenges that I've faced and talking with my producer, I hear that it is more challenging within minority communities. Why is that?
Well, because a lot of those records were associated with slavery. And this is where that ouchie moment comes in, because a lot of those records were like breeding books. They were like deed books that listed the slaves not by name, but by age and gender. So a lot of it is what I consider intentional hurt. you know, in the sense that you get a chance to look at that, but it intentionally hurts you because you see that your family was not a name. There wasn't anything associated with them that showed their language, showed their culture, showed their skills, all the things that they know would be relevant. It was literally demonstratives to just saying that this is an animal. Here's how many I had. I had 5 females that were all this age, or I had, 29 children that were infants. So when you look at that type of dichotomy of how the United States wrote into information about slavery, that makes it even harder for you to even start grasping, where do I go to find that information?
Yeah. And I'm assuming, sometimes depending on where you find the answers could be that much more surprising.
Yes, it sure can. And as a librarian, I've got my rule of thumbs that I love to look at. I love to go to the Library of Congress. I love to go to the United States National Archives. I love to go to Family Search, Ancestry.com. And then here is the nugget. If anybody who's out there who's listening to my comments, here's the nugget and the jewel of where you find true ancestor information is those genealogical societies that are in your city, county, state, and the nationwide. That's where you're going to find those, because a lot of those county records, after so long, they don't want them anymore in their courthouses. So
taking up space,
What now?
Taking up space.
You got it. So they give them to those libraries, those genealogy libraries, to now have and possess. And that's where you realize that's where you really find the best information, because I found the actual marriage license for my grandparents was in a box, and get this, honey, it said $2. And I said, I can buy my grandparents' legal marriage license for $2.
Everybody would be married today, right? If it only cost $2.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm like, look, I gave him a $5 bill and said, keep the change.
Okay, well, Kimberly Gay, thank you so much for coming on our show this morning. You made our morning. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.